who's as adamant about his or her position as I am about mine, whom you think is sharp. Seriously, we know that. And another thing, we heard him say that... Hey sports fans, Larry Elder here. Welcome to episode number 89 of And Another Thing. If you'd like to become an Eldorado, go to LarryElder.com, fill out the form. You're going to get a free copy of Michael and Me. Michael and Me is my feature-length documentary where I explore the Second Amendment historically, talk about how Mao and Hitler and other dictators used the gun control argument to oppress people. And then I confronted Michael Moore, you know, the one that did Bowling for Columbine. He was at a book signing out here in Santa Monica, California. And having tried to have an interview with him for a whole year when he publicly said he'd debate any Republican anywhere, anytime, we called. He said he would come on, never did. So I tracked him down and I confronted him, and it's on tape in Michael and Me. And I asked him 3 times how often Americans use firearms to defend themselves. And 3 times he said, "You think I'm going to give it away right now? Go to LarryElder.com and fill out the form." Now for episode number 89 of And Another Thing. This one is about Ferguson, Missouri. As you probably heard by now, unless you're under a rock, a black teenager named Michael Brown was shot and killed by an officer in Ferguson, Missouri named Darren Wilson. The topic of this and another thing is called the Great White Defendant. If you read the wonderful novel by Tom Wolfe called Bonfire of the Vanities, it's all about this white investment banker who hit accidentally a black kid, later on killed him, but because he was having an affair with a woman in his car at the time, he didn't want anybody to know, and he didn't realize the kid had been hit, so they fled the scene of the crime, hoping that the kid wouldn't die, but he did. Of course, the law enclosed and investigated, and little by little, the story starts leaking out, becomes this huge story, and the media loves it because it's about the Great White Defendant. And that, Tom Wolfe says, is somebody everybody can agree to dislike. White people are used to being disliked, so they have no problem with it. Hispanics have no problem with dumping on a white guy. Asians have no problem with dumping on a white guy. Blacks have no problem with dumping on a white guy. So it's the one villain that everybody can all agree to hiss at simultaneously. Thus, the Great White Defendant. Now, in recent months, we've had Paul Ryan. I know Paul Ryan ran for president, but he did for a while. He made some comments about why people are dependent upon welfare and didn't say it the way other people thought he should say it. He was insensitive. So for a while, he was our Great White Defendant, but he wasn't really a good one because good guy, no real record of him being a racist. Then you had Cliven Bundy, the guy at Nevada who was upset because the federal government was asking him to pay some taxes on some land. He claimed he didn't have to pay taxes on it. Became a big states' rights thing against the federal government. And he was a hero for a lot of people until he said some intemperate remarks about colored people. All of a sudden, it's Cliven Bundy. Then, of course, Cliven Bundy handed off the baton to Donald Sterling. Donald Sterling was captured by his girlfriend, making all sorts of dumb statements, racially insensitive statements. Never said the N-word, by the way, even though his girlfriend did everything she could other than holding up a cue card to get him to say it. In any case, it was enough to ultimately get him to have an involuntary sale of his team, the Clippers. But for a while, he was the Great White Defendant. Everybody could agree to dislike him. Rick is from Madison, Wisconsin. The President Larry is so quick to talk in a stern voice on all kinds of things. But why did he not use his stern voice to tell the rioters in Ferguson, Missouri to knock it off and stop, and damn it, I mean it? I'm confused why he didn't do that. Well, he didn't do that because that's not how he is. He doesn't believe that the people in Ferguson, Missouri are wrong top down like you and I do. He thinks that they have a right to express their unhappiness with the racist criminal justice system because President Obama believes that the criminal justice system is in fact racist. Why at the federal level, to the extent that he can control racism in the federal judicial system, he hasn't done something about it? You'll have to ask him. Eric Holder has said things like, blacks are sentenced longer for the same crime that a white man does. It is true, but there are legitimate reasons according to the U.S. Sentencing Commission, and those reasons include different arrest records. But Obama has made statements like that. He also once said publicly that there are more black men behind bars than there are in colleges and universities. When you look at college-age black men, it isn't even remotely true. There are 5 times more college-age black men in colleges and universities than there are college-age black men in jails and in prisons. Yet Obama says stuff like that, giving people the impression that the racist criminal justice system is alive and well, and surprise, Obama is shocked and surprised and uses his stern voice sometimes to tell people there's no reason to loot. You just told him there was. You just said that black people are sentenced longer You just said that basically black people are being warehoused because, after all, there are way more black people, you said, Mr. President, in jail than in colleges and universities, and then you're surprised that a lot of black people are angry. Here's the deal. The Democratic Party wants black people to be angry come November time. But when Democrats are running a city and blacks riot, they don't want them to be angry anymore. I hope you enjoyed this small excerpt. If you want to see the full video, got to be in El Dorado. Go to my website, larryelder.com, log in, fill out the form. It'll cost you about $4.75 a month, or about the price of a mocha frappuccino latte at your favorite coffee house. As you can tell, I don't like coffee. I'm a tea drinker. See you next time.